Cabal 2 spirals in open beta, Skyforge announces its open beta dates, all that and more. I'm Zach Sharps and this is Free to Play Weekly. To kick us off this week, My.com's free-to-play MMORPG Skyforge finally has an open beta date, kicking off on July 16th, just 3 days after our prediction here at MMOBomb. Everyone will be able to hop into Skyforge free of the fear of character wipes. Those of you who own Founders Packs, however, will be able to start your adventure starting July 9th. Players who don't have Founders Packs, however, will still get some love on July 16th, so long as they log in within the first week. What is that love though? Well, it's 2 free costumes for your character, a small gesture, but still a good one considering the Outlaws team's history. Personally, even though I have issues with the combat within Skyforge, I'm still looking forward to checking out the game during its soft launch, especially since I skipped the past couple of betas. Will you be checking out Skyforge? Leave me a comment down below. Speaking of open betas, EST Soft's highly anticipated sequel, Cabal 2, launched its open beta this week. Being the sequel to the very popular Cabal Online, this title was full of expectations. Featuring standard questing, dungeons, PvP, and more, Cabal 2 is trying to emphasize the thrill of combat in the MMO world and highly focuses on PvP. Its open beta was not without fault. Hundreds of players flooded the servers, causing lag and performance issues and even disconnections. Not to mention the other bugs and wacky mechanics we here at MMOBomb.com discussed during this week's free-to-play cast. What do we think of the sequel though? Mike and I rated it pretty low, at an average score of 4.25 out of 10, with room for improvement based off of its PvP at later levels. It is unclear whether or not this sequel will live up to the expectations amongst the community. However, I do recommend previous Cabal Online fans to at least go check it out. Who knows, you might enjoy it. Grinding Gear Games' popular free-to-play title, Path of Exile, has been teasing us with a new expansion called The Awakening for quite some time now. In a forum thread, designer Carl D. Visser knocked down the known issues count to 295 from last week's 530, and it appears it's smooth sailing from here. With that update also came a release date for the upcoming expansion, and it appears you won't have to wait much longer. The Awakening is launching July 10th with a slew of features from new skills, jewels, quality of life improvements, revamps, and more. I don't know about you, but I am pretty excited. Wargaming is at it again. First they had World of Tanks, then World of Warplanes. Now stepping forth into open beta is World of Warships, featuring 80 US and Japanese warships, the addition of the Soviet and UK nations, and a signal flag customization system. This game seems to have a good bit of content for you to chew through. On top of that though, there is also 10 maps which can be conquered by teams in both the PvP and PvE game modes. I really don't know how much enjoyment could be had by combating in a warship, but I'm sure there is a niche for it and I won't judge it until I personally check it out. That being said, it is an open beta for those of you who want to sink some battleships. You can go ahead and finally get your hands on this new free-to-play title. However, you know what you can get your hands on sooner? The question of the week. Last week on the show, I asked what feature do you guys want to see in a sandbox MMO? A user by the name of The Crazy Monkey stated the following: I want a dynamic world where there are 2 factions and you could take over the other's land. Once you take all of the land, the one faction is destroyed and the other is in control. Then you would have an opportunity to rebel and make a rebellion. So basically like a rebellion mechanic after you lose. Pretty interesting response and certainly something I think would be cool to have in an MMO. That being said guys, if you want your answer possibly featured in next week's episode, make sure to leave a comment down below. This week's question is, with many open betas launching or announcing their launch this week, what do you guys expect in terms of quality of open beta titles? Do you expect them to be flawless, or maybe a few bugs with server issues, or a really buggy game overall that just needs to be fixed before launch, and why? Personally, I am more on the few bugs with a touch of server issues side of the spectrum, but for me it really depends on the game's history. Winter is coming, or rather is already here. Well, that's if you're talking about War Thunder. I'm just gonna stop while I'm ahead. Anyhow, with a terrible tryhard joke out of the way, it's time to discuss a new content update entitled Cold Steel within Gaijin Entertainment's free-to-play fighter. Introducing a new snowy map meant to represent a region of Finland, 28 new air and ground vehicles, with a few changes to damage UI to give you a better idea of just how beat up your opponent is, and last but not least, a new air battle game mode called Enduring Confrontation, where players have infinite respawns while having to accumulate points by completing objectives in matches that can last a pretty long time. Overall, a pretty big updates for a pretty fun free-to-play title. It's always nice. You know what is also always nice? Giveaways, of course. We tend to have a giveaway once every single week, so head on over to MMOBomb.com, bookmark the giveaways page, and check it daily to ensure you never miss one. As for myself, signing off until next week's Free to Play Weekly, my name is Zach Sharps, and I'll catch you guys next time.